Why, hello there. It's Ryan, and here's the making of the first track of my EP, Revival. So let's just jump right into it. There are links to listen to it and everything in the description below, or just like on my SoundCloud or something, if you want to. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So the first thing you hear is a couple things. I'm gonna go to the easiest first. I've got this Impact just out of the Leviathan sound pack with this EQ, just cutting the mids a little and like reasonable reverb. Let's mute this. Sorry, where is it? Right there. Like with. It just adds like a tiny bit of high end, and that's about it. I also have Superior Drummer, which, if you don't know, is like the greatest thing ever for real drums. So I've got a snare and 2 cymbal hits right there. I've also got, I'll get to that in a second. Got a piano, or not, this isn't the piano. Well, it is. Never mind. I've got this piano right here, and it is the Maverick and Native Instruments Contact. I use this piano for everything when I need a piano. And also for Superior Drummer, I have all of the different mic positions being routed into one giant Superior Drummer thing, and it's just getting compressed a little bit. And that is literally all that's happening to the entirety of Superior Drummer. But for the piano, all I have is a ton of reverb. If we mute this, like the reverb is a little ridiculous, especially in like the next part right here. Like it just adds an ambience, and it's really nice to me. I didn't do any EQing, and apparently I was about to, but I didn't. I've got a fruity balance because, excuse me for my voice, I have no idea what's up right now. I have a fruity balance, so I'm honestly not sure if I ever even used. So apparently I was gonna do things with the piano that I never got around to doing. So there's that. I also have cellos and violins and violas, and for that I'm using the East Quest Quantum Leap Symphonic Orchestra. Yeah, gold complete. And I just have those, and like they're just the strings. The only thing getting EQ'd is the cello a little bit, and the violin and viola are just straight. And they're getting routed into one reverb, which is like 100% wet, so it's only the reverb coming out of this channel. So I can do stuff like this and shape the reverb. So that's what's happening with the strings. What else do I have? I've got this arp right here. That is a serum, and what this is a dirty saw and just a regular saw with a few voices, a little bit of detune, and an envelope on a low pass. So it's making that pluck sound. If there's no filter, with the filter pluck. And what I'm doing to open it up is I'm just taking the cut off and like that. So I have that envelope assigned to the cutoff, and I've got these LFOs on. One of them's on the wavetable position for the dirty saw. The other one is on the delay frequency. So this thing is getting moved around. Is what's happening. And that's like a filter for after the delay will hit and then, or the dry sound will hit and then the delay gets EQ'd with this shape right here. So there's no low frequencies and the highs are a little bit cut off. Yeah, there's that. And then there's the delay, which we went over with a like 55% mix, like 40% feedback. It's got a multi-band compressor with just a little bit of like a lower threshold. Everything else is default, and reverb, because everything in this track is like a stupid amount of reverb. And so what's outside when it opens up. Yeah. So next we have the pluck bass, which right here and right here. So pluck bass is just its hardware. It's 6 voices with not a whole ton of pan, because I don't usually do a whole lot of panning on my bass sounds. A moderate amount of pitch, and I'm pretty sure this is just default phase. Yeah, it's default phase levels. Saw wave. I don't know if I said that. My pluck shape is what's like making the sound like what it sounds like. So I just did that. I just screwed around with it until I got. There's no rhyme or reason. Even though this is just like a super basic shape, I just kind of click, and then it worked. And I was like, oh, well, okay. And then I put the pluck all the way down, or not all the way, but like a decent amount down. And I'm compressing the poop out of it with this. Not really, but give it a little bit more punch and bite and everything. And then over here, I've got a dip in the mids, and I'm high passing it because I've got a separate sub, which is right here. And I use Sound Goodizer on this for some reason. I don't know why I use Sound Goodizer on that, but my sub is a. Oh, I usually have a. Sorry, it's been a while since I've looked at this track at all. I usually have like this Harmor preset for subs that I use on everything. Like every time I need a sub, I've always used the same preset. But then I kept hearing people were using like Massive for their subs, so I was like, you know what? I'll try it. And I guess I threw a Sound Goodizer on there because I had no idea what I was doing. But my sub is a sine square wavetable. This is 35, 2 octaves down, with classic tube on with these settings and nothing else. And then this Sound Goodizer, and then this EQ. Like it's a sine wave. It's a low sine wave, low compressed sine wave. And it's just following the pluck bass, obviously. And so next we've got Takio drums. Whoops. And you could probably guess I'm just using East West Symphonic Orchestra for this because it's easy and I like it. Next we've got the electric bell right here. And that is a Massive actually. And it is 3 wavetables, multiplex, a square saw 1, and a sine harmonic 1. And those are all like the multiplex is like all the way up, and the other 2 are all the way down. They're all an octave up though. And then I've got this macro that's just kind of panning through them. Just to add like a little bit of a texture difference from note to note, so it's not all the same thing. Just kind of like an artificial round robin, if you will. I've got a long release time on this to give it a long release. I also have this EQ, and a dimension expander, which is giving it a little more stereo than it would usually have, and it's one voice. And yeah, that's it for this synth. And then I've got this EQ with this giant dip right here because there must have been something funky. I've got this because I'm just compressing it, and then Valhalla Room because Valhalla Room is the best reverb ever. And then this just as like another high pass. I guess this was for the reverb, so there wasn't any like muddy reverb in the bottom, but I guess. And it's slightly panned to the left because I've got the chimes doing the exact same thing. And that is again from the East West library. I've got this sub drop. This is the sub that I was talking about. This is the sub that I usually use for everything, and it's just a Harmer square wave, or not even really. In the local EQ, I knocked everything out except for like the first few harmonics, so it turned into a sine wave. It's 2 octaves down, and I'm doing a lot to this apparently. I've got this was more of a volume shaper than anything because I didn't want it too loud in not like the mid or the higher frequencies rather than sub. So if it's quiet up here and then it just drops down into a normal volume. It's saturated, it's compressed. I've got this. It has like a tail, an artificial tail or release envelope. I think, oh my god, my words are just terrible right now, I'm sorry. It's like a manual volume envelope is what I did right there. That's what I wanted to say. I've got this bass drum, which is like a concert bass drum. There's a concert bass drum, again, from East West. And then, well, what's next? Those are all like the main elements, and then it's just piano with like retarded reverb, and then March snare. Oh, there's this pad. Yeah, so this right here. Oh, and there's also a marimba, because that's super easy to do. You have one guess to know where that came from. It's this right here. So this pad right here. Right here. Super easy sound, and I really like it just because pads are cool. So I've got the wavetable in Serum, mellow but instable, with 16 voices, which is a lot for Serum because that's like 70 CPU right there. And then just a saw wave up an octave with one voice, with a little bit of noise. So it's got this filter that I'm just automating. with no resonance, a little bit of drive just to like boost the levels just like the smallest bit. That's going into this EQ, boost the highs just a little bit, high cut or high pass just to clean up the lows, and then more Valhalla Room because I feel like everything in this track has Valhalla Room on it. Then there's solo violins that come in, and that's just east-west again. There's a lead in here. Brace yourself for your ears. Yeah, and this is super simple. It's a Harmer, 9 voices, lots of pitch relative, a little bit of pan, default fizz, compression, nothing's getting changed in there, and reverb and delay. And then this, just a giant scoop at like 2000 hertz, a little bit of a boost in the highs, and then more reverb, because you can never have too much reverb, right? And I've also got this reverse cymbal. Yeah, that's just Leviathan sound pack, and it's just got it like a really weird EQ for some reason, and reverb, because reverb's cool apparently. And yeah, that's basically it. And I just kind of end on a reverse reverb, or reverse cymbal right here, and then cut it off with a balance on the master. Oh, master, my mastering is this. I've got some gain boosts. I've got the low ends a little bit mono, mids a little bit stereo, highs just a little more stereo. Master, it's got some gain boost on the pre-gain, a little bit of saturation on the master, just cause, and then I opened it up so it can like actually pretend to get to 0 dB when it gets loud because of this. Because this usually, like, if you put that down, like it creates, like it lowers the max volume, if that makes any sense. So like, even when it's at 0 right here, it'll show up as like -3 in the mixer. So I opened it up so it can get to higher than 0, and but it'll still actually just be 0. Just mess around with it and you'll see what I'm saying. And I actually apparently have some low end boost on this. So yeah, that's the track. That's Revival. There wasn't a whole ton of cool things in here, just because it's like this style and this genre are very like basic as far as sound design go. The next one will be cooler, I swear. But thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. If you learned something, hit that subscribe button, just cause. And I'll be doing one of these for all of the tracks on my EP. So I hope you enjoyed. And again, I hope you learned something. And yeah, I hope I see you in the next video. And goodbye.